Hi viewers, welcome. I'm Greg Gunter, your Dream Pro Realtor here in San Miguel de Allende, Central Mexico. #1 city in the world, voted 5 times, 5 separate years by Condé Nast Traveler. Man, it's a great lifestyle down here. You got to come visit. So if you've watched a few of my videos before, you probably know that I'm also an architect, in addition to being a broker, of course. And so I'm always a little bit frustrated when I work with clients and they go, wow, this house is phenomenal. They looked at 20 houses, they've narrowed it down to 2 or 3, and they go, this house is phenomenal. It's got good bones, right? Good Bones Makeover. That's the name of the little series. Great bones, good location, the lights phenomenal. Many features that they love about the house, but then they say, it just looks too American for us. If we'd want that, we'd stay in the States. And I'm always trying to tell them that's what that profession called architecture is for. Someone can help you design it to make it look whatever you want. You want a home that looks more Mexican? Easy to do. You can do like the Getty penthouse in Rome, for instance. Their place is all Balinese, and it was in Rome, for crying out loud. So we're in a home today that turned from a very American looking, even though it's in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, it looked like a very American condo that got converted to a Florentine pied-à-terre. So we're going to look at before and after so you can see what could be done to the home of your dreams to make it fit your style more perfectly. Come join me. Good Bones Makeover. Hi viewers, welcome back to Good Bones Makeover. Now we're doing different rooms of this particular home so you can see how each room changed from what it used to look like before. Today we're doing the living room. This is going to be a good one. You guys are going to love this, the difference between the two. Now I've got old photos of what the living room used to look like. So now we're flashing one of the old photos online of what it used to look like. You'll see you're looking down the distance of the living room there. It was a very kind of plain, simple white walls, very basic furniture that you get from Walmart kind of thing. Nothing terribly fancy with that. Let's walk over and swing over to the place that I started just a little while ago. Now you can see here also the corner over here had a fireplace in this old photo that you're looking at now. And now we're coming back to look at where I am here. This has completely changed out, as you can see. The old fireplace was removed. We put a new antique, not new, actually, it's an antique old French parlor stove. Remember Frank Lloyd Wright used to call the fireplace, he used to say the hearth was the heart of the home. That was Frank Lloyd Wright's old saying, and of course I'm an architect, so I love that. So we have the hearth now, the fireplace, an old French parlor stove, as the heart of the home. Everything kind of circulates around this hearth. Now this is an old French parlor stove that was meant to burn peat moss, so of course it's not working now. It, as you can see, has a flame. Hopefully you can see that flame going on the inside, so it looks very realistic, And we have built a mantle, a custom mantle. It's partially newly made and partially made from antique materials. These old balusters are over 100 years old. So we've framed this entire living room vignette around the hearth. So it's a whole new different layout than it was before. As you saw, the old place had a fireplace over in the corner. It was very unattractive. It looked like something from a Motel 6. Now you have something that's much more indigenous to the style of looking like a Florentine pied-à-terre, right? Another thing that you see on this particular wall that we've done to not only make it more stylistic to something that looked a little bit more European, but also helps increase the size of this. This is a condo that we're in, so it's a smaller environment. You see that this whole wall over here is all mirrored. So we've got antiqued mirror back behind all the pieces, and that helps reflect light, helps reflect your reflection when you're looking at people. When you're having a party in here, it's a room full of people, you get more activity. It just seems like psychologically a bigger space. So those are kind of some of the features that you can do to make the home look much more impressive. You'll notice the cornice up at the top of the ceiling. That was newly added, as you can see. It adds a nice sense of architectural detail, so it looks a little more European. Could work very well for Mexican as well. The light up at the top helps the ceiling look like it's floating, so you get a whole different effect. Makes the ceiling look like it's higher. So see all these architectural tricks that you can do to make a home look much, much different than it did before. Okay, team, let's make our way around the living room here so you can see a little bit more of some of the design features that we did to improve the look of it and make it look a little bit more like, as I said, a Florentine pied-à-terre. As an instance, we come down, you see architectural elements here that are very kind of Roman looking, the column here. That's a Venetian lamp that you see on top of it, very Italian looking. We have a side table here that's a Corinthian column capital. It creates the little side table. More architectural details. It looks sort of a little bit more European. Now, the dividing line between, our cameraman's going to come around and kind of show you from the kitchen area looking into the living room here. We made a little divisional, psychological division is the best way to put it, between the kitchen area and the living, which is also the dining room. You'll see that a little bit later tonight. We've got our cava columns here. You see they're very diaphanous and see-through. Now they've created a little bit of an Italian look because they've got old terracotta tiles that hold the wine bottles. But you can see the light come through, you can visually see through them. They're not a separate, opaque feature that completely separates the room. And then you'll see my caryatid columns here. So the caryatid corbels are from actually France, but they create a very architectural division for the living room as well. You see that they're fitted below a dropped ceiling here that has the cornice and the light above it. So it creates a very architectural division between the two areas. We have our Mark Anthony corbels down here. Again, a very European feel to kind of separate off the two areas. And as we move back into the living room here, you see that we have an old antique Venetian lantern. It doesn't really provide light, it's more of a design feature to kind of give you a little bit more of a feel for a European or Italian sort of home. It's literally a Venetian lamp. So as we come on in, we have room. We don't have a separate dining room, and you'll see why, as I said, in just a little while, because we wanted to have room for all the antiques and architectural features in the home. So you see here a Venetian Chase sedan. It was a one-person taxi for the streets of Venice. That's pretty substantial. It's the size of a phone booth, so it needs to be pretty good sized. And then you see over here we've created around directly across from the hearth, which I said was the heart of the home, we've created a vignette here that centers the entire living room. And so you see a lot of old antique architectural features and statuary, several busts. This is an actual reproduction from Donatello that sits in the Bargello Museum in Florence. So couldn't be any more Florentine if you needed to be. Great features. We've got Paulina Borghese here. We've got Apollo. So one of the other features that really draws your eye to the end of the room and psychologically makes it look bigger is to have a very vertical element at the end of the room. So when you first come in from the opposite end of the room, your eye is drawn all the way across the room. We've got an Italian statue up at the top, and she's up high, and she has a spotlight on her. So your eye's drawn all the way across the room, and psychologically it makes the living room seem much bigger. And of course, as you can see out here, we have a view to the outdoors, so you can see all the way through the home, which is always an important feature. And I'm going to actually turn a little noise on now so you can see. We always have our water feature. Always good to have a water feature, good feng shui to have a water feature outside. Hi team, it's dusk and we're back in the living room of Via Solavare for a dinner party. Now this is really important. I've talked in all the other videos about how important lighting is. Lighting is really critical. When you are redoing or redesigning a home, the architecture of course is very important, but the lighting is really critical. I think that's a key element to redoing a home well and having various levels of light. What we're looking at here is sort of the mood lighting that I love to do. The ceiling lighting, for instance, is on a timer. It automatically comes on at dusk. So you always have this kind of nice, warm glow for the room when dusk comes on. Now at nighttime, we have the fireplace that comes on as well. You see it kind of glowing and crackling down there. Not a real fire, but it looks like it, doesn't it? We've got some design lighting that you can kind of see along the side over here. I'll let the cameraman kind of pan around and you can see a little bit of the lighting that we have in the shelves over there. We also have a couple of architectural elements that have a glowing light on the inside. These lamps are made from real antiques. They're old architectural column capitals. They're turned upside down and turned into a lamp. So you see that's providing a little extra light as well. Now, as you see, we are prepared for a dinner party. So let's change the lighting just a little bit and see how we can improve the mood for dinner. So we have a chandelier above us here that is a candle-style candelabra. How's that for a terminology? Provides a nice candle-like glow to the room. And we're going to show you how this becomes the dining room, okay? Let's have a little toast and we'll show you the dining table. So team, I bet you're wondering how this turns into a dining room, right? Take a look at the table here. You're watching it rise magically as we speak. I designed the table to be on a pneumatic lift so that it can rise from coffee table height to dining height. So the living room here doubles as the dining room. You'll see it'll lift up to a normal dining table height. We're almost there. I usually stop at just a little short of, because it'll go even higher if I want it to. And then everyone just pulls up a chair. So you very easily just pull a chair up, and boom, that chair, the chair there, everybody pulls a chair up. I've got one that we do bring in for the end of the table here, and presto, you've got a dining party for 6 right here in the living room. Same kind of lighting. You've got the dining room chandelier here over the table. Phenomenal ambiance. You've got the fountain in the background. You've got a great view. Lighting is spectacular here. Phenomenal dinner parties. I wish you'd come join me for one. So team, that was the review. We've completely changed the living room of this house. As you can see, it's a whole different home. We've got several more rooms to take a look at, so come join me for the next feature of Good Bones Makeover.